Congratulations to C-SPAN for winning the bid to broadcast this event. They narrowly beat out HGTVQ, QVC South America, and the Hilton Hotel How to Check Out channel.
Comedian Conan O'Brien, the 2013 White House Correspondents Association dinner, using one joke to make fun of two common targets, C-SPAN and the Washington Hilton. The 2025 dinner is just days away, and this year, no comedian, which means no jokes about C-SPAN or about the Hilton. In the past, at every dinner, there seemed to be at least one joke made about one or the other, or sometimes both in the same joke, like Conan did. C-SPAN doesn't mind the ribbing. In fact, we did a podcast 2 years ago with the best of jokes comedians told at the dinner about C-SPAN. We imagine the Washington Hilton can take a joke too. So, in tribute to the hotel being a long-time central gathering spot for the political and media community, a true D.C. institution, and as a public service to those who still want to hear dinner jokes, this episode of C-SPAN's Podcast Weekly is equal parts history and loving roast. We celebrate the hotel's 60th anniversary by presenting jokes told about it by a group of people you won't hear at this year's dinner, professional comedians. First, some hotel history. The groundbreaking ceremony for the iconic landmark just above DuPont Circle was held on June 25, 1962. It opened 3 years later, on March 25, 1965. Chief Justice Earl Warren attended the opening luncheon. From the beginning, the Hilton was called Washington's unofficial palace. A Washington Post editorial said it was an international status symbol for the city. In the early years, top musicians played there. Like in 1967, Jim Morrison and The Doors, during Thanksgiving weekend. Tickets cost $4. And in 1968, Jimi Hendrix, when he was 22 years old, $4 for those tickets too. Both legendary singers in the same international ballroom where the White House Correspondents' dinner is now held. And when was that dinner first at the Hilton? Just 3 years after it opened. May 11, 1968. President Lyndon Johnson speaking at the same spot where Jimi Hendrix played 2 months earlier. Before the Hilton, the dinner was held at a series of legendary hotels whose names are also steeped in Washington history. The Arlington Hotel, Vermont Avenue and L Street, site of the first dinner in 1921. The Statler, and a historical footnote to the Statler, in 1954, Conrad Hilton purchased the chain. The D.C. hotel is now called the Capitol Hilton. And the same architect who designed the Statler, William Tabler, later designed the Washington Hilton. The Hamilton, the Willard, the Carlton, the Mayflower, the Sheridan Park. How connected to D.C. history is the Hilton and the dinner? Well, both showed up in the book All the President's Men. Here's what Carl Bernstein and Bob Woodward wrote about the 1973 dinner during the Nixon administration. The White House Correspondents Association annual dinner is a formal, overdone, alcohol-saturated event attended by all those with power, or pretensions to power, in the media and the government. It was held on April 14th at the Washington Hilton, and Haldeman, Ehrlichman, Kissinger, and the president, who arrived after dinner flanked by a retinue of POWs, were among those who sat through an evening's entertainment that was interspersed with savage Watergate jokes. Then the Hilton itself started showing up in the jokes. Here's what President Jimmy Carter told the 1979 dinner. I guess if I could go to Jerusalem and Cairo to make peace, that I could come to the Washington Hilton for the same purpose. And then President Carter said this, but you're a tougher group than the Knesset. I just thank God that they don't drink so much. As a matter of fact, you're more like my own cabinet. We swear we didn't make that one up, although we are a bit jealous. So with that, let's start the loving roast and turn the Hilton jokes over to the professionals. Like Seth Meyers in 2011.
It's so amazing to be in Washington, D.C., all this history, all these amazing buildings, and yet here we are at the Hilton. The red carpet outside was amazing. Who are you wearing? What does it matter? I'm going into a Hilton. Don't get me wrong, I'm very happy that we're at the Hilton because no matter how I do tonight, I'm earning Hilton honors points. You may not like these jokes, but I'll be laughing all the way to a free breakfast.
Joel McHale in 2014.
It's an honor to be here tonight at the Washington Hilton. I'm tingling with excitement, or maybe that's just the bed bugs.
2015, Cecily Strong.
It is great to be here at the Washington Hilton. It's something a prostitute might say to a congressman. The Washington Hilton, you guys. Man, if these walls could talk, they'd probably say, "Clean me." You know, it's crazy to think that our president is right here in the ballroom of a Washington Hilton. And it's even crazier to think that our vice president is right now in the ball pit of a Washington Chuck E. Cheese.
Larry Wilmore in 2016.
But Donald Trump, you know what it is with Donald Trump? Donald Trump looks like the rich dad in every episode of Law & Order where the frat kid accidentally strangles a hooker, right? Doesn't he? Yeah. Or as they say here at the Washington Hilton, Tuesdays.
2017, Hassan Minhaj.
It is amazing to be surrounded by some of the greatest journalists in the world. And yet, when we all checked into the Hilton on Friday, we all got a USA Today. Every time a USA Today slides underneath my door, it's like they're saying, "Hey, you're not that smart, right?"
And last year, Colin Jost.
I think even some Democrats say that they are underwhelmed, but I think they're just not living in reality. Manage your expectations, people. It's like tonight. Sure, we all wish we were at the Waldorf right now, but we're at the Washington Hilton. And we have to make the best of it. Just be happy you're not at the airport Hilton.
Finally, we end with a comedian we started with, Conan O'Brien. In 2013, he had the longest Hilton bit of any comedian. Here's his full riff.
Congratulations to C-SPAN for winning the bid to broadcast this event. They narrowly beat out HGTVQ, QVC South America, and the Hilton Hotel How to Check Out channel. That's right, the Hilton. It's great to be here at the Hilton. Is it just me, or is it time to stop using Priceline to book this event? No, I love the Hilton. I really love the Hilton's motto, "Sorry, the Radisson was booked." You know, I was worried that because of the sequester, we would be forced to hold this event at a less prestigious hotel than the DC Hilton. Then I was told that's not possible. But I do want to thank the Hilton for accommodating us. They were kind enough to reschedule a Cash for Gold seminar. By the way, for those of you here for the Cash for Gold seminar, that's been moved to Salon B on the mezzanine. And if Joe Biden asks, there are no extra tickets for that either.
And now, a bonus clip. We read a joke President Carter made whose punchline cited the Hilton. That was 1979, before TV coverage of the dinner. Since C-SPAN's showing the dinner live over 30 years ago, the first was 1993, when the comedian was Leighton Boozler, who made plenty of C-SPAN jokes. Have other presidents incorporated the Hilton in their jokes? Yes! Here's Barack Obama, 2012.
Anyway, it's great to be here this evening in the vast, magnificent Hilton Ballroom, or what Mitt Romney would call a little fixer-upper.
That's it for this episode of C-SPAN's The Weekly. The fact that there's no comedian and no president won't stop C-SPAN networks from presenting this year's White House Correspondents' Dinner. Watch on TV, watch online, or listen to C-SPAN Radio, direct from the International Ballroom of the 60-year-old, iconic, legendary Washington Hilton. Why watch the dinner on C-SPAN? Well, because it's live, it's in its entirety, and it's in color. For now, thanks for listening and happy searching.